what did you think of the world building in Fallout?
I thought it was really well handled.
I liked it a lot. We got a lot of cool scenes and settings in this one.
Yeah, you get like the beach all the way to like,
We get some desert.
Philly.
We get Philly. That was one thing we were going to talk about. Like, most of the time when you get places like that in Fallout, it's because of a play on words for somewhere.
Yeah,
I
like
never found the play on for here.
Novak or whatever.
Yeah, like there's a place in New Vegas, I bring it up, Novak, which is just a no vacancy sign,
Yeah.
but NC is not on the sign, so it's this town of Novak.
And they're clearly like towards California. Like that's
Yeah.
where, the whole thing is set. So like they're not in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
They're just like, it just must be some place that popped up.
I was thinking maybe landfill because it did look like
I can
like
see
a
that.
junkyard kind of thing.
Philly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that place was really cool. We'll talk about it. But
Yeah.
this will be a spoiler-heavy review for the second episode of the Fallout series on Amazon Prime. Go check it out. We also have episode 1 of the review out right now. You can check it out right there. So let's jump into it.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed the settings. The main town of Philly or whatever it was just gets demolished.
Yeah, and just a gunfight.
And I love that.
Let's back it up a little bit because we have to like build up to Philly because of how funny this is.
Yeah.
Like Lucy is going around and she's seeing a lot of the wasteland. She's seeing like broken houses with people that took like suicide pills when
Lots
the war
of
dropped
deserts.
and stuff. Yeah.
Oh,
Barren
she also-
wasteland.
This might be the first episode actually. I think it's the second one, but you see like just like the crust, like the crusty remains of people that were trying to get in the shelter that are just like, it's just like what do you call it? Like they were sedentary.
The husks of them and stuff.
It's like in Pompeii when they all get covered by the volcano and stuff.
So it's really cool. She meets this guy right outside of Philly. And he's like trying to get his water filter to work. And she's got her gun out because at this point she's not trusting anybody.
Yeah.
And she's like, like, hey,
Still polite.
I just need directions, please, if you could help me. He's
Yeah.
like, I don't have any weapons or money. And she's like, I don't want any of that. And he goes, okay, just don't kill me, please. She's like, what are you doing? He goes, I'm trying to get my water filter to work, but no matter how much sand I put in it, water's not coming out. And she goes, oh, well, you probably need water. And he goes, oh, you don't
like,
say.
Do you have water?
She goes, yeah, you can have a little bit. He drinks all of it.
He's like licking the.
Yeah, he goes, you never turn down water when someone gives you water. He's got the crazy getup. He's got a hat, boots, like a sumo kind
it's like
of.
a diaper almost.
Yeah, with like a broken button-down shirt. Funniest guy in the wasteland, in my opinion.
It was he's like, hey, I need a wife. You want to be my wife?
Yeah, and she's like, no, I'm good.
No, and he kept.
Yeah, she's like, no, I swear, I'm gonna die soon, so all this will be yours. But she's like, no, I need directions. I'm trying to find my dad, yada yada. And he was like, well, if you want, you can go over to Philly. That's the town over yonder, over that hill. I've never been. She goes, you've never been over that hill? And he goes, no, a lot of my family's died there. My dad, a couple brothers. I had an aunt. She died over there once. So I try to stay away from that place.
No, yeah, it's so funny how it's just like a barren wasteland, but there's like one little house.
Yeah,
it's just like the best.
Yeah, no, that's in the game. You'll walk for stretches. There's nothing, and then you'll find a house with like some loot in it, or they'll have like a raider or two in there. It's really cool, funny, like interactions and stuff.
There's the Maximus guy gets his payoff in this episode.
Yeah.
He is they're searching for the scientist
doctor
guy.
Yeah, the doctor and his dog.
And yeah, the dog. We get a whole. Oh, let's talk about the dog first.
Okay, yeah. So we get this whole thing. The doctor has a dog. It looks like he's not supposed to. It looks like they train dogs to.
He had a hole in the wall to make the,
to keep his dog in there. He was like, I want a dog, so he kept the dog. So a scientist came in, saw that he had a dog. And so he was like, I'm going to tell everybody, yada, yada. And he's like, no, don't do it. And he pushes the scientist, and the dog doesn't like that. So she jumps and kills that guy. So they have to flee. But there's also something else. The scientist has injected himself with something. We don't know what it is.
Yeah, he has some kind of like, he knows a lot about stuff. He meets Lucy, and he's like telling her about herself.
Is he a mind reader? Was he from that vault maybe? Because he knows a lot about vault dwellers and stuff.
The Brotherhood of Steel?
Yeah, he worked with the Enclave.
Well, they said in the last episode, like, he has something with great potential.
Yes.
They didn't say what it was, but he definitely like shot something into his skull. So,
yeah. So this guy's very interesting. We'll cross paths. Lucy meets him while she's out in the wild. The dog kind of saves her from a rad roach. And he's like, you need to go back. This world is not for you. It's going to change you. You're not going to like it. Just go back home, kind of thing. So, yeah, Maximus is out with he's a squire. He's out with his knight. And you think the knights are really cool, honorable people kind of thing.
He didn't say much at first.
Yeah, and you think he's just this quiet, cool dude, right? So,
well, he's clearly like taking advantage of his power because the guys, Maximus is trying to talk to him, and he's like, "So I noticed you put this thing on there. Is that to help with
mobility?
mobility?" And he's just like, clean my crotch plate.
Yeah, he pulls his crotch plate
Just
out to clean that.
douche.
So then he also stops the chopper and says, hey, I want to go shoot something. So they jump down and they're walking. And we see a Yaogwai bear. So cool. Radiated bear. And the guy literally goes, I apologize. You're just going to have to bleep this whole thing. Oh, I'm going to have to do it. He goes, oh. And he tries to like shoot the bear. The bear like destroys his gun. He's like, no. He's like running out of there.
It is very much like the player experience.
Yes.
You know?
Like when you've walked into a part, you're under level 4 and you're like, I do not want to be here. Get me out. Yeah. He ends up getting beat up by this bear, and Maximus saves him. And then the guy starts insulting him. Where were you? Give me a stim pack. You're going to be through. We're going to kill you, kind of thing. So the guy goes, okay, I'm not going to give you a stim pack then. I'll let you die and take your suit.
He just sits there and lets him die.
Yeah. And then
It's
he
nuts.
takes him out of the suit and gets in it. And he's like,
And the
flying
bear,
around.
by the way, is giving the power suit some trouble.
Yeah.
Even though he only takes like 1 or 2 shots in the head to kill him.
Yeah. And that was cool too. The gun.
It's like, I don't know if the bear's stronger or if he's like some kind of like, just, it's like a sad, pathetic creature at this point.
He is a bullet sponge in the game. He is tough. He's not Deathclaw level tough, but he's tough.
Yeah. It was fun to see that kind of just like, in the second episode too, we get surprises like a nice little Yaogwai.
Yaogwai, yeah. So the Chinese people that were left here during the war, afterwards they saw the mutated bears, and that's what they called them, were the Yaogwai.
Oh, okay.
There's probably some translation I'm not sure of.
Well, Mogwai is the little furry guys from Gremlins who turn into Gremlins.
That's cool.
So there's probably no relation.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm glad you mentioned that.
It just sounds like similar.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. So he takes the suit and he's like running around. He's trying to be a hero. He sees these 2 people fighting, and the guy's like choking the other one. He grabs him. He's like, release him. He goes, okay. And the other guy's like, thank you. You're a good sir.
He's like
this
a snake oil kind of salesman.
He's like, this guy doesn't understand science and all this other stuff. And he runs away. So he lets the farmer go, and Maximus feels good about himself because he's like, I was a hero and stuff. And the guy goes, look, man, I don't want any trouble. It's just he was my chickens, and I can't have him do with that. And the smile just drops from Maximus' face. He goes, and he looks over, and the guy's just hightailing it out.
He's just sprinting out of there. He's like gross-looking Weasley man.
Yeah, and you see him later. Like the doctor ends up suffering a foot injury, and they're walking out, and the guy's like, "I'll give you." He's like, "We'll say, for instance, it's a love potion. It'll cure your love and stuff." And then he sees the guy with no leg. He goes, "It'll cure your leg. It'll grow your leg back. Just take this. It'll do that." So he's obviously, like you said, he's a snake oil salesman. Snake oil salesman. And it's so funny. The delivery of the guy was just like, look, man, I don't want any trouble. The guy was just f***ing my chickens.
In a power armor suit. Just trying to,
And you see right before that, he's just having fun with the power armor. He's chunking like massive rocks, breaking buildings and stuff.
He's like throwing stuff and it's going like miles away.
Yeah, and he's just loving it, So he ends up flying away.
Can you fly in the games with the power armor?
You can survive big drops. You can get like a jetpack, I think, in number 4. So you can do like boosted jumps. You can't fly though.
Oh, it's like an Iron Man suit the way he's got it.
Yeah. And like Fallout 3 in New Vegas, it was more of just armor, and you had to have like a certain strength and science requirement to wear it. In number 4, they really gave it the big power armor suit thing, and you had to get cores for them, and you can get in them and stuff. And what you could do, you'd find them all over the world. And they would be like half complete. If you found a full complete armor set, you're like, let's go. And when you build your base, you would just have them all there. But you could find parts and put them on and stuff, and they'd break and repair. Really cool. They did a lot with the power armor in Fallout 4, but it's really cool. That's one of the main reasons a lot of people go for Brotherhood of Steel is it's the easiest way to get power armor, because they eventually give you some.
Yeah.
But it's really fun. But then we go back to Lucy, who's now gone to Philly.
Yeah, she's. This is the scene we were talking about in the last episode where she's meeting the crazy old lady.
Yes. What was her name?
I don't know. Her friend was Barv.
Yeah, we knew Barv, and it looked like a dude. And then she started talking. I was like, "Oh, that's a woman."
That was like a Lorax moment.
Yeah, it really is, because guys, in this show, the people are hideous, and
they're Fallout survivors.
They're Fallout survivors, and they look the part. But I love this lady's like vault dwellers. Like I love everything about her character. She's awesome.
Very much like a kind of an old. She's trying to get the doctor to what's her face?
Moldaver.
Lee Moldaver.
Yeah. Anyway, so she paid a lot of bottle caps. That's the currency in New Vegas.
What is the deal with that? Why is that?
So in Fallout, money is useless. So
why is money useless?
Because there's no government.
Oh.
And it's just been universally
accepted.
How
does bottle caps just become the way?
Bottle caps are the currency now. So you get them from like the Nuka-Cola bottles.
Interesting.
Stuff. So you get bottle caps from that. If you drink a Nuka-Cola, if you find it, you get 1 bottle cap added to your currency and stuff.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of neat. But yeah, bottle caps are the currency in Fallout. It's just how it's always been. It's like a little nice play on thing. You can find it's called pre-war money.
Does it make any difference?
You can use it to build stuff. You can sell it, but like if you need like cotton for a bed or whatever, you can use the money as like a material for it. So it has its uses. So if you find a bunch of it, you just go sell it. It's not like a $1 thing, but it's something like you could sell 50 for like a 25 bottle caps or something like that.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So bottle caps are the currency, and she goes up there. Lucy goes in there, and she sees all this vault tech stuff. She's like, "I would only assume that you have this because you're a criminal
and you deal with thieves.
Yeah,
and
like,
there's a thief I'm looking for."
Yeah. She's like, "I'm not judging you. Far from it. I actually need your help."
Yeah, and she keeps going like, "You Barb, you got to come in here and see this."
Yeah, it's a vault dweller, bona fide vault dweller. And then she goes, "I'm looking for Moldavan." And she's like, "Never mind, Barv. We're leaving."
She gets her gun out. She's like, "You better skedaddle."
Yeah, we don't like vault dwellers. You guys are a bunch of rich bitches that got to stay behind in the vaults and live happy lives and stuff.
And she even says, she's like, "Well, I appreciate my privileged position.
Yeah.
And, our goal is to save America." And she's just like, "Okay."
She was like, "When were you planning on doing that, sweetie? You had 200 years."
Yeah, exactly.
No, but we like her. Did you ever figure out her name? Damn. Okay. She's really cool. I like her personality. She's just like, she's got like the smoker's voice, old, wrinkly lady.
She may come back. She didn't get killed, did she?
No, she got her leg shot a little bit. So
she, the ghoul, when he sees the Dr. Vilsig,
Vilsig, I think.
So yeah, Michael Emerson plays Dr. Vilsig. He's the dog.
I knew it was something close to that.
And he gets his leg shot off by the ghoul pretty
Yeah.
much immediately. And they're the ghoul's being he's very like theatrical kind of.
Well, that's the thing too, is we see the ghoul before we see the doctor, and he's chilling. No one's even paying him anything.
Sitting there. I think he's probably waiting because he knows.
Waiting, yeah. He knows this is like a hub, so he's like, the doctor's going to have to come through here. There is a little bit, you see a lot of convenience in this episode, would probably be my only critique of it.
I'm assuming the power armor has some kind of tracking abilities or something.
Yeah. We get that, but we also get the convenience of Lucy meeting the doctor in the wilderness.
Well, yeah, but that's just like a pre-thing. I mean,
yeah.
The doctor must just be around from those parts, I think.
Yeah. But I was hoping we would get a few more episodes before all the characters came together, but it looks like they're all together now, so.
Well, not necessarily. I think
they did split back up.
I think Lucy and the doctor will
Spoilers.
Lucy and part of the doctor will continue on, and I think the power armor guy will come back.
Yeah.
Maximus will probably come in at some point.
So anyway, yeah, so the ghoul shows up, and he's got this really cool gun. He shoots it, and the bullets look like miniature nukes.
It's like explosive ammunition. Yeah, it's crazy.
So it shoots you, and you're like, oh, that's not that bad, and then it blows up. So he shoots the doctor, and it hits his leg, and you're like, oh, and then it blows his whole leg off, and you're like, oh, my God.
He shoots through one guy, and then like it hits another guy in the head. He shoots like in the chest, and it gets the other guy in the head.
Yeah. And at one point they're shooting him, and he's a ghoul, so the shots don't really hurt him as much. So he sits back there and he grabs some like cherry tomatoes, and there's a guy he shot. He's like slowly choking on his own blood, and he's like, I'd offer you some of these cherry tomatoes, but you got a hole in your neck, so I don't think it'd do you much good. And he's just munching on him, reloading his guns,
it's
and
like an amazing
shooting
fight
on him.
Yeah, it's like one of the better shootouts that I've seen in a while.
It's got the humor, but it's got the good action. It's got the gore.
Yeah, it's just it all works together.
It all works so good.
It might be a little too flat, like the lighting looks a little flat.
Yeah,
but that's okay.
Well, and at the beginning too, the lady tells him, "Look," because he goes, "There's a bounty on that doctor's head, and I want it." And she goes, "Well, I've been paid to keep him safe, so I can give you some money." And he's like, "No, I want more than that." So he shoots the guy, and the lady takes cover, and she goes, 1,000 bottle caps for anyone who gives me this guy's head, but not if I kill him first.
It's also, too, because, he's got bottle caps. He, throws a bunch of them on the ground when he takes the tomatoes.
Because we've already established he likes the game.
So you can't pay him off because he just wants to play.
Yes.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
He's 200-something years old. He must be, just...
With no daughter. We're assuming his daughter died in the blast.
We'll probably get... I bet we'll get some extra.
Yeah, we're definitely going to get some backstory to him because, like I said, he's the most elusive.
Might even get a full episode dedicated, kind of to his.
I hope so. I really do. Because
he's my favorite
also
part of
Walton Goggins.
Yeah,
so,
he's my favorite part of it so far.
So there's this cool shootout. He takes out probably 10 people, and at this point, they're putting this thing on the doctor. Like this.
Yeah, it's Jim's limbs.
Yeah, and it literally shaved. It's like all his blood's coming out, and it's shaving him down. And then they put a little foot on it, and it doesn't actually work. I was like, oh, they just gave him a new leg, but as they're walking, he's just bleeding out.
You're probably not meant to walk a lot on it right away.
So that's funny. But after a while, Lucy's like, I have to help because the ghouls got them cornered at this point. So she comes out there, gives this whole speech of You're leading me to believe that you're the aggressor, and I think everyone here will be okay with me shooting you if I have to. And that's when the lady goes,
fucking bulb dwellers.
and so she shoots him with a tranq gun.
He's like, sweetheart, that is one drop in a very large bucket of drugs.
Yes. It's like the delivery, you know what I mean?
It's so good.
And Lucy's like, well, I have messed up, I think, you know. Maximus comes in, and that's again, it's just a little convenient, but like you said, there may be a tracker or something.
You know, and I don't, because like if there's a big shootout and he's close by, he'll probably hurt it. And like we've already established, he wants to keep the peace. Like he's been,
he wants to be a hero for a hero's sake.
I can look.
Sounds kind of like Ben 10, you know. So he shows up. He's like, the lady said to drop the weapon, you know.
Yeah.
And he like saves her from getting shot, and
they immediately kind of like fall into it because I mean, they're not in love or anything, but like,
well, Lucy is infatuated.
Well, that's the thing. She sees him and she's like, "Is that a knight?" And she's kind of
like him.
Well, because like that's what she's trying to do is keep the peace and like preserve America. He's also trying to keep the peace and like be a knight and help people
like,
who are in
we
need.
would have great kids together. This is the perpetuating America and keeping the peace. He's everything I want rolled into one.
Pretty radiated though. I would imagine his sperm count's not very high.
Oh, for sure. You know. But
anyway, it doesn't matter. But
yeah, so it seems like there may be a little infatuation there.
Which I'm assuming later on we'll get. You know, I think his ways will continually get darker. Well, she'll get corrupted by the land. I think
she'll get more depressed and change herself. You know what I mean?
I think there'll be kind of a cross. I think there'll be like a double cross in the end of this. And I could be wrong. They could be.
They may reach the same conclusion of life's pointless, but have different ways of going about how they deal with that.
Well, just like morality, like she might not, because he's okay with killing if it's like in name of the peace or whatever. I don't think she's not okay with killing. She's very much like a ethical, like that's her thing. Is the strong ethics,
and they've done really well with it. She doesn't sound preachy with it.
No,
you know, it's just her belief system,
and that's how. And she's gonna, she thinks like her mission is like to kind of fix the whole problem.
And there's just a cuteness to the naiveness of her. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But she's still like competent. Like she's for sure. Because she's like,
you see her building a campfire and stuff. She's like reciting the way like a nursery rhyme kind of thing.
And she's in the first episode we see her like wrestling and shooting. She's like very perfect. She's like being humble. She's like, I'm not a very good shot, but she like shoots right in the
she's very capable. And she's a great character. Probably one of my favorites.
Yeah, especially right now because there's a moment later we'll get to it, but like just her naivety and her like willingness to kind of get her mission done. Like she's just it's funny. It's just like a great bit.
So the guy says, "I'm gonna handle the ghoul," but the ghoul quickly realizes he's like. Because I guess he's seen.
He's been around for so long. He must know how to like deal with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because he's like, man, they ain't training them like they used to. Because you're walking around like you're like a shopping cart. You know what I mean, or something like that. And he easily just beats.
He's like, I read the manual basically.
Yeah,
it cuts like a valve and then it makes him kind of malfunction.
Completely disables him. But by that time he gets around and Lucy and the doctor are gone.
Yeah.
So he's like, damn. There was a scene. He shoots the doctor and the dog attacks him, and he stabs the dog. And we're like, come on, man.
We think the dog is dead.
And then he gets a stim pack and heals the dog. So then now the dog's like, okay, I'll follow you.
I'm pretty sure the dog is like, where's my guy at?
Yeah, I'm going to follow. Yeah. So,
which is very smart on the ghoul's part.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a smart ghoul.
I guess so. He's not irradiated quite yet.
Not yet.
Not to feral or whatever.
I love the small drop in a very large bucket of drugs.
He's such a fun guy.
He's so good, dude. But I know people were before the show came out were like, the graphics aren't good enough, like ghoul-wise.
I think you wanted him to be more ghoulish.
Yeah,
like
but at the same time, you lose a lot of personableness, I think.
Maybe.
The more inhuman he looks.
I think you've done it a good way here where, he's missing a nose and his skin is kind of grafted, and he's kind of...
He's got the sunken in eyes and stuff.
He's almost like a Deadpool.
Yes.
He's kind of...
honestly, I think Deadpool looks uglier than him.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Because he's got like all the scars and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's inhuman enough, but you can still see the human traces.
Yes.
And I guess like this is a character we're gonna empathize with and like, and every time he shows up, it's like, oh, there's our bad guy. We love this guy.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about the setting again of Philly. It's like a junkyard area.
Yeah.
And it's got like shops and stuff.
It reminded me for whatever reason of like a Final Fantasy setting or something. It was just like a very old rundown thing, but there's like a nature of bartering and.
Well, with Bethesda games too, there's always like one city that everyone flocks to in each game.
Yeah.
So with Skyrim, it's Whiterun. With Fallout 4, it was like the baseball mound area. It was a baseball field turned into a town. Can't remember what it was called. I'll put it up later. And then in Fallout 3, it was Megaton City. There's actually an optional quest, where you could either blow up the bomb in it and blow the town up, or not blow it up. I chose not to because you get Either way you do it, they had karma in that one. So you would either be very bad karma or really good karma. But if you did that, there was like a lot of followers that wouldn't follow you anymore because your karma was so bad. So each place has like a hub, and that's what this like felt like. It was like the hub of this area. You know what I mean?
It's only episode 2 as well, so
Yeah, we might see some other cities.
we get a little destruction. Like it's not,
Yeah.
it's not perfect.
Mm-hmm. But you have the shops. There was one that said dentist and barber.
Yeah,
That was really cool.
yeah.
A gun guy over there and stuff. She was selling guns. You see another junk jet.
I think I there was a moment in the first episode where I'm like, man, this looks. There's a fight scene under in the bunker, and I'm like, man, this looks kind of fake in here. And then I'm like, oh, it's it's manufactured. Like,
Yeah.
this is supposed to look fake.
This is fake because it was a projector projecting the field and stuff. It said like,
was like,
please
man, this
stand
looks
by.
Yeah. There was a moment I noticed, like in this, where they're leaving the helicopter and like he hooks them onto the power suit and they jump down. That looks a little.
It looks a little bad.
And I don't know if are they using the void on this or the void? Are they using the volume on this or no?
The volume.
Like the Disney Plus thing that.
Oh, I don't know.
The Mandalorian first started
You
using.
led me to believe that it was a Disney only thing, so I don't know.
I don't think so. I think Netflix. We watched something recently where it was like that's the volume. I forget what it was.
Yeah, the Avatar show.
Avatar used
Yeah.
it. That's exactly what
Yeah.
it was. Yeah.
So they may have it too. They may have called it something else, but
I think from what I understand, I looked into it a little bit. There's one guy, and I forget his name, but there's one guy who invented it, and he's like,
selling it to everybody.
well, he's pretty much the only one who knows how to do it.
Oh, so he's just being contracted out.
Well, I mean, if he's not involved, it looks bad, essentially. Like, they can still use
got
it,
you,
but
got you.
there's this one guy who's really good at
Yeah.
the Mandalorian guy, whatever his name was.
Yeah.
He was really good at the volume, and Disney, like for the most part, Percy Jackson looked okay.
Yeah, there were some. I think the worst it looked was on Avatar for sure.
Yeah, I think you definitely noticed it in the Avatar. It looked as bad as like a '90s like Seinfeld driving around.
You can
show
tell
or
the
something.
budget was used to its potential in Amazon because
Yeah.
a lot of the settings and a lot of the backdrops looked really good.
And I'm assuming the power armor is practical. I know.
Yeah,
like
it definitely looks practical.
it definitely looks
Not
practical.
that bad. It's not that bad. Yeah, so I like the city.
I think it's all coming together though, like world building.
Yeah, it looks phenomenal. So we end this episode. She's walking away with the doctor, and when they first meet, the doctor even says, "Your name is Lucy. You're from this vault. You have this. You have that." And she's like, "How do you know all this stuff about me?" And he doesn't say, but he every time they see each other, he's like, "Go home. Just go home." She agrees to take him because the client that wants him is Moldova. I don't know if we mentioned that yet or not. I don't think we did.
Maybe we did.
But she says, okay, I guess I will go do that. But what was that scene you were talking about was really funny with her?
So they're just walking through the desert, like and she's like, oh, like the older lady plugged it into her little watch, and she's like, Pit Boy. By the way, I don't like the way that looks.
Really?
Have you seen that? I meant to show you that meme beforehand, but it's that guy who's like playing a Switch and he's got the little thing on his arm and he's like, "My life is like a video game."
I've seen that. Yeah.
It just looks like that to me. It
It
looks
just looks a little too fake.
a little too cosplay-y.
Got you.
Which there's no. I mean, that's
maybe I'll have to look at it again.
yeah. I mean, that's just how you. How else would you do it? I guess.
Right.
I would rather it look like that, like more authentic to the games than not, and it'd be kind of more like sleek or stylized or whatever.
Yeah.
Just looked a little cosplay to me.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about that video specifically because
Yeah.
it's so cringy. But anyway, so she's like they're walking through the desert and she's like looking at everything. Oh, it's about 20 more miles or whatever, and he's like, I can't make it. He's bleeding out of his leg, and so he's like, you need to cut my head off because they don't really want me. They want this in my head.
Yeah.
And so he gives her like a ripper. Or whatever.
Yeah, it's called a ripper.
She's like he just dies, and she goes. She's looking around. She's all upset. She doesn't want to do it, but she just looks okie dokie. And she gets it done.
Okie dokie, dude. And that's the thing with her is like at the end of the day, she does what she needs to do to further the cause and stuff. So, in a morally, ethically correct way of what she thinks.
Yeah, and he'd already been dead. I mean, like this is
because he took the suicide pills again.
Yeah, he said it tasted like banana.
Yeah. I kind of wanted to taste it when he said that.
Yeah, it's like the water of life from Dune 2.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, man, that looks delicious.
What does that taste like? You want to give me a little
I
bit?
just want to take a little lick of it. You know?
Yeah. It's just like, will that like put me in a sleep for a little bit? You know, if
Am I gonna die?
Yeah.
I'd have a sip of the banana.
Yeah, just get a little bit of that.
I know.
Get a taste. You know. But yeah, so she gets the ripper, turns it on, and the screen goes black, and the credits roll. But it's like, she's just like. It's kind of like a trauma victim who just blocks out all the negativity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, we're just gonna keep like you see like when Spider-Man in number 2, he sees the mugging happen and he goes
just eating his hot dog
and walks away. That's what I feel. That's like what I get from that. You know what I mean?
I feel that.
But yeah, we loved it. So as far as settings and world building, They're doing really well in the
Yeah,
show.
no, especially episode 2. I think we'll get way more as we go on.
And like you said, there was a few things, little nitpicky things, but overall, it looks like a great show, like visually.
Personally, right? Like I think I noticed bad special effects or bad lighting or just like like stuff that's not realistic looking or whatever. This is Fallout, so it's not supposed to be terribly realistic. But I'll notice that stuff if I don't care about the story as much. And I'm pretty sucked into the story here.
Yeah, so you don't really see it. Like if we went back and rewatched it, we probably could have picked out other things.
You can accept it though. I mean, like I'm not like
because we're so into the show, we're not looking at other things.
Exactly. It's sort of like with Godzilla Kong as well. Like I'm sucked into that movie, but I'm not noticing like some of the more nitpicky kind of bad special effects that was going on.
Which we have a review for that right here. Check it out.
So yeah, I have no really like the nitpicks are aside. Like I have no real problem with it.
No, not at all.
And I think it's like it looks good. Like it it feels like it's a well developed, well thought out area.
It's keeping the pacing from episode 1. It's still going. Like we're only 2 episodes in, but it feels good. It feels good to watch. So that we'll pass the question to you guys. Did you like the world building in this? Do you like the settings, like the wasteland, the cities?
Is there anything from the games that you wish they would have incorporated more?
Yeah, like do you want a specific town? But I think they're trying to keep away from going too specific.
That's the smart way, I think,
yeah.
because you can set it pretty much any time within Fallout. Like it's just this is its thing, and the games are also their things.
I have heard a spoiler for episode 8 that there is a certain town in there that we'll get to. If it's true, I can't wait to talk about it in episode 8. Yep. So stay tuned for that one. But yeah, let us know what your thinking is. Has the show progressed pretty good for the first 2 episodes? And
also, want to know too. Like this all dropped at once. Are you watching this all at once? Are you binge watching this, or are you just gonna watching it as you go?
We wanted to binge it, and then we realized we've been begging for this, and they finally did it. These are long episodes.
They were like
hour and 5, hour and 10 minutes long.
Dude, the first one felt the second one felt a little less long.
Yeah.
But probably because there was more action and stuff going on. But the first one, man, I had a long day. It was I got these eye allergies too, so I was just like rubbing my eyes.
I know. I kept looking over and I was like, Hopper, you better chill, dude. We got at least one more. I wanted to do 3, but it looked like I had to put Hopper out of his misery for that night.
Thank you for that. I was expecting to like fall asleep if I wasn't on like a nice like hard chair.
Yeah.
And I could have fell out of it.
So it was a good thing I had the hard chair.
Honestly, yeah. If I was on a couch, I would have just fallen
passed out. Yeah. No, we like we said in the previous episode, we were both going in after watching, Percy Jackson,
very low
Avatar.
expectations.
Yeah, like we were kind of tired. We were just like, man, okay, here we go, 3rd adaptation. Let's see what it's doing, and it blew us out of the water. So we're probably gonna binge the rest of it. But
would you have liked if like Halo had done the same thing, or would you had to have Master Chief?
I think Master Chief sells it. I think if they went this route though, it would have been better. Like take any random Spartan, put him in the world of Halo. Because at this point in the Halo games, we have Spartan 4s.
Yeah.
So you can be a Spartan 4, you can be the events after Halo, you can be the events during Halo and just do a different mission. I think ultimately they really screwed the pooch by having Master Chief in there because then you're confined. But then all the writers all said, we want to write our own story. It's like, then don't put Master Chief in this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. They've got Amazon's working on a God of War show.
I know, dude. I'm super excited.
Well, see, you can't do Kratos with it. You can't do God of War without Kratos.
Yeah, so are we going to have a Master Chief issue here?
It may be,
and it's also like, are they doing the OG Greek pantheon, or are they just going straight to the Nordic stuff?
I think they're doing Nordic stuff. But they'll probably do some flashback to Greek.
Do we have a casting yet for it?
I don't think so. I've heard a bunch of stuff, but I don't think that's
Well, stay tuned.
confirmed.
We have a live stream every Saturday, guys. So when they do announce it, we will announce it on our live stream.
Yeah.
So check us out there.
The Rock has been thrown around.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's got the chops.
No.
Dave Bautista,
I would see Bautista if they're doing Nordic. If not, they'd have to go with someone younger, in my opinion.
Yeah,
But yeah, stay tuned. We'll be going live every Saturday, 4 o'clock CST, Beyond the Binge, talk about the week's media news and whatnot.
And if you guys enjoyed this episode, you want to see us break down more Fallout episodes, that's going to be over here on my face. And if you enjoy this episode by episode breakdown and you like Ben 10, we've got that over there. You can check out that on Steven's face, and you can subscribe right here in the middle. There's a little subscribe button.
Hit it.
And we will see you in the next episode.
Yep. See ya.